All right, 6.6 is solving radical equations. So let me do a few of the homework problems to kind of get you started. Let me start with the first one, number 3. Okay, in number 3, you're asked to solve the square root of 5x plus 1 equals 6. Okay, so in this problem, the radical is already isolated, so all we do is square both sides. So we're going to take 5x plus 1 and we're going to square it, and we're going to square the right-hand side as well. Whatever you do to the left, you have to do to the right. Once we square a square root, the radical just goes away. We're left with 5x plus 1 equals 36. We subtract 1 from both sides, we get 5x equals 35. Divide by 5, and you get x equals 7. Okay, so isolate the radical, raise both sides by an exponent of 2, and solve. So that would be how you do number 3. Let me go ahead and show you number 13. Number 13, you're given the cube root of x minus 10 equals negative 3. Okay, we want to isolate the radical, so we'll add 10 to both sides to move it over. We get the cube root of x equals 7. We then raise both sides by 3. We cube both sides, because by cubing both sides, we get rid of the radical. It's a cube root. There's a cube root. So if we raise by 3, basically the radical goes away, and we're left with x equals 7 cubed, and 7 cubed is, if you do that on your calculator, is 343. All right, let me go ahead and show you number 23. In number 23, we have 2x to the 2/3 equals 32. You've done this one before. We'll divide by 2. Okay, so we'll have x to the 2/3 equals 16. Now we raise both sides to the 3/2. The reciprocal of 2/3 is 3/2, because 2/3 times 3/2 is 1. So that's how we get rid of the exponent, and we're left with x equals 16 to the 3/2. Now, you can solve this without your calculator. The 16 to the 3/2 is the same as the square root of 16 cubed. The square root of 16 is 4, and 4 cubed is 64. Okay? And let me do one more for you. We'll do number 35. In number 35, we have x minus 10 equals the square root of 9x. I square both sides. Okay? Now when I square both sides, I have x minus 10 squared. That's the same as x minus 10 times x minus 10. Okay? I have to FOIL that. Okay? Now I put all the terms on the left side because I want to set my equation equal to 0 so I can factor. So we get x squared, x squared minus 29x equals 100. Plus 100 equals 0. Okay, x squared minus 29x plus 100 equals 0. We can now factor two numbers that multiply to 100 and add to negative 29. That would be negative 25 and negative 4. Negative 25 and negative 4 is negative 29, and negative 25 times negative 4 is 100. So x equals 25 and x equals 4. Now since we squared both sides, okay, we got to check, see if we have any extraneous answers here. So we'll start with x equals 25, meaning we plug 25 back into the original equation. If I plug 25 back into the original equation, I get 25 minus 10 equals the square root of 9 times 25. Does 15 equal the square root of 25 times 9? What's 25 times 9? That's 225. And the answer is it does. So 25 is a valid answer. When we put 4 in, okay, now we check x equals 4. When we put 4 in, we get 4 minus 10 equals the square root of 9 times 4, or 36. Well, 4 minus 10 is negative 6. Okay? A square root can never be negative. The square root of 36 is positive 6. Negative 6 does not equal positive 6. So the answer of x equals 4, this one right here, is extraneous. And what you'll do is you'll cross it out and you'll write extraneous. So the only real solution here is 25. X equals 4 is extraneous. So there's 4 problems from your homework. Hope that helps.